为你要火起来嘛。
哦，是的。
哦，
谢谢。Hello。
好味过的。
Very tasty.
谢谢。
Thank you so much.
好，拜拜。
Thank you.
What else goes with production before?
Yeah.
哎呀，我听不懂，你们说的很快，我一点都听不懂。要说慢一点，我们才听得懂一点点。
Yeah.
You like this one? Good.
Tasty.
Yes. Sorry, I don't speak Chinese.
She's a good salesperson.
Salesperson.
There you go. She sold us whatever that was on top of whatever we got.
I think you make duck tortillas with it.
Oh, you make duck tortillas.
Maybe you can add some sort of a salsa,
yeah,
like
like a
a
wrap.
spicy yum yum salsa.
True. And this is here, I guess, is bread, baked goods, everything along those lines too. You've got like cookies and stuff like this. A lot of the baked goods here in China as well are very, very different to a lot of what the normal sort of baked goods stuff is that you can expect in the West. Like sometimes, for example, I'll pick up something and I'll be like, oh, I really would like this because it looks like a cookie. And then I take a bite of it and it's dried pork or something. So just keep that in mind. It's a very different sort of taste profile that you're going to get out of a lot of these things. Obviously, if you go for a pack of duck, it's gonna taste hopefully like duck. But if you go for something like these cookies or maybe these things, you're not really going to know unless you've tried it before.
Yeah, a lot of times as well, if you buy baked goods, they might not necessarily be as sweet as we are used to. So in Germany, for example, or also in Ireland, if you buy a cookie, it's going to be a sweet cookie and there's going to be a lot of sugar and a lot of chocolate and all of that stuff. But that's not necessarily always the case. I mean, you do get actual sweet stuff, but I feel like generally they use a little less sugar in the produce, which is not necessarily a negative thing, just unexpected, I guess. You want some egg tarts?
Egg tarts, yeah, pastel de nata. This is like a Portuguese cake tart that I really enjoy eating. I just never know if it's too heavy on the eggs.
I do think though that in Hokkien they also have these egg tarts.
Hokkien egg tarts,
think,
yeah,
that's
true.
kind of what that is.
Yeah,
It's a little more eggy than creamy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
These are really, really super good. And this packet here, this pack of 6, is only 12 yen and 12.80. So it's like maybe 150 or something like that. Very, very affordable.
Also, to let you guys know, here and there you might see some things that you don't necessarily see in a European supermarket. Like, for example, chicken feet. Oh, no, it's okay, thank you. Oh, I never tried. I never tried chicken feet, actually. I think we need to try it at some stage. Anyway, you will find different cuts of meat, for example, this one here, that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Sometimes as well you see snails, you see different types of crustaceans that you've never seen before, sea cucumbers, jellyfish, stuff like that. So you sometimes see like parts of animals or even animals that you might not ever seen before in your entire life. So that will be your first time that you see that one. And Luke is still looking at the yum yums.
There's so many different types of selections. They've got donuts as well, which look crazy if you look here.
Oh, they look nice though. Why don't we take one?
Look at that.
That looks good.
They look like tasty donuts. It's only 12.80 as well. Should we cheat on our so-called seafood diet and go for some donuts?
Yeah, seafood diet.
I'm on the seafood diet. I see it, I eat it.
A lot of times as well, you might see something like this and you think maybe, oh, that's like a sweet tart, but sometimes it's then like pork floss or chicken floss, or I feel like this lady is accompanying us on our shopping trip. She's very present the entire time. And this supermarket is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It said online superstore. I didn't believe it was going to be a superstore. It's
massive. Sometimes in Asia, when you're traveling around Asia, it will say like superstore or mega store or hyper store, but usually you'll go there and there's nothing hyper about it, there's nothing super about it. It's usually actually a little bit on the smaller side of life, but that's not the case at all in here. I think we've made it to the deli meat section and also the dairy section as well. So if that's something you're interested in, we'll have a look here just briefly. So you've got like deli cuts of different sausage meats, which China has some incredible sausage, by the way. We've been loving the sausage meats that we've been having so far here in China. And a lot of this seems to be just exactly that, what we've been sampling. So you've got different things like this here is a baked ham roll. And it just looks absolutely incredible. You could slice this up, put it in a sandwich, for example, or just eat it the way it is. This here looks like some type of just a chunk of bacon or something like this. I thought it was pate.
I thought also it was pate, but maybe it's like bologna or something, just like different meats pressed together, basically. And then China is really good, by the way, with all things smoked. Sausages, smoked meats, barbecue meat, stuff like that. It's really, really good here, like genuinely good, coming from a German perspective, if that means anything to you.
You've got stuff like this here. You have some really nice, good quality looking bacon, if that's something that you're into. For me, the absolute ideal breakfast for me, if I have a kitchen, is just bacon and eggs. So waking up in the morning, having a cup of black coffee and then some bacon and eggs. That's like the perfect way to set up your day for me. So yeah, bacon is a go-to, but we don't have a kitchen at the moment in China.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish we could cook properly, but again, to make you aware of prices, giant bag of genuinely fresh pasta, so in the fridge type of a pasta, it's 800 grams, it's just €1.
There you go.
For completely fresh made pasta.
Fresh made pasta. And the bacon, by the way, is only 25 yuan, 26 yuan, which is like €3, roughly, like something along those lines.
24 is €3.
Yeah, so just a little bit over €3. If you want a pack of bacon, decent pack of bacon, anywhere in Europe, substantially more. Anywhere in a lot of the other sort of South and East Asian countries, it will be roughly around the same, or maybe slightly more as well. Here you have some like sort of fruit juice drinks and stuff like that. These typically are always going to be like a little bit on the expensive side, just because it's a load of fruit crammed, fresh pressed fruit, crammed into these bottles, obviously. And you have some stuff as well, again, that we just genuinely have never seen before. Like this here is literally liquid with a load of rice and what looks to be like goji berries inside.
Maybe it's like a rice pudding of sorts?
Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life.
Glutinous rice. Glutinous rice.
Glutinous rice, yeah, okay.
Maybe one of the differences as well, now that we're sort of standing in the dairy aisle nearly, I haven't seen any cheese in China.
Yeah.
So like dairy products in general might be a little bit different. So whatever yogurts, for example, that I tasted so far, even though they say that it's like a natural yogurt, they might be a little bit on the sweet side. A lot of soy products, obviously soy milk, soy yogurts, and again, no cheese. But we have seen a lot of like these sort of fermented milk type of drinks, like what you would know in the West is Yakult. Is also Yakult, you can buy Yakult here as well, but they have sort of different variations of it that might be a little bit bigger and not the tiny bottle, basically. And also different variations of fermented milk. Sometimes there might be like a peach taste or an orange taste, which I'm not very fond of. I like the normal fermented milk like this one, basically. But yeah, here, for example, this looks like maybe a passion fruit taste that was added to the milk. I don't know, do you try it out yourself? I'm not very fond of it, but it's nice. It's just very sweet, I feel like.
True.
Just generally the yogurts in general seem to run a little bit more on the sweet side than they would maybe in Europe, but just interesting because it's like the baked goods are not so sweet, and then the yogurts are a lot sweeter. So
that's true.
Kind of the different world.
We've noticed that as well, just touching on the topic of coffee, because I'm sure that's something that we're going to have a look for. Coffee is something that both of us obviously drink on a daily basis. Every morning we always start our day off with a nice cup of coffee if we can, and luckily we have a kettle at the moment, but we ran out of coffee just the other day. We literally just ran out of it, and something we're having a lot of trouble with here so far is finding instant coffee. Now you can find instant coffee, no problem, but it is this 2-in-1 Nescafe thing, which is basically just sugary, milky water. And what we like to drink for instant coffee is usually just black coffee. So just a black, whatever, it doesn't matter what the brand is, just black coffee. So we're gonna have to look for that and see if we can find some of that as well.
But you cannot necessarily find coffee so well, also the coffee beans and ground coffee. So we travel with the French press and we haven't actually seen any proper coffee yet. This is the reason for it. Everywhere you go, you will be able to find tea, which is obvious. Because we're in China, where tea kind of comes from originally, I believe. And but they don't really seem to be so like crazy fond of coffee. Now you can go out and drink coffee, obviously, in a cafe. You can ask for no sugar, that's fine. But it just doesn't seem to be like in the culture that they maybe don't prepare it at home in the morning time, or maybe they just drink a tea like a lot of people in Ireland or England or generally also the UK would do. So I think that's kind of that's one difference. Oh, wait a second. The other day I actually asked a lady if they would have coffee without sugar, and she pointed at something like this, which is like the ready to drink sort of iced coffee with caramel and cheese latte. Cheese in this case, by the way, if you ever cheese in Asia, it usually means fresh cheese. It doesn't mean cheddar. So if you see a cheese latte, it's not cheddar. It's not a Gouda or something like that. So don't get the wrong impression there. But yeah, it doesn't really seem to be in the culture that coffee is a thing that they drink in the morning. And we're currently also looking for coffee.
True. We're on the hunt for some coffee right now at the moment. But to give you guys an idea as well of different things that you can buy, like energy drinks. So I'm someone as well that likes to drink energy drinks because I really enjoy going to the gym and being very physically active a lot of the time. And I oftentimes will use energy drinks to give myself a little bit of a boost. So you can get one for just over 8 yuan, which is literally around roughly €1 for a can of Monster. A can of Monster Energy in Ireland is going to run you between €3 and €5. So that's substantially better price here than it is back home again. And now make our way into a gigantic Willy Wonka Candyland section, basically.
That's something that we saw also in the other Chinese supermarkets. It seems like you can it sort of works like a pick and mix, I want to say, just like a mixed bag of candy, basically. So you can just sort of come in here and pick a lot of different items. Maybe I think you have to keep them in separate bags because they have different prices per 500 gram or per kilogram. And you just sort of pick and mix whatever you need for your pantry or whatever candy that you would like to have. And you get somebody to weigh it, and then you just pay basically in bulk, which is not something that we do. I think we saw it in Georgia before, maybe Albania or something like that. But like in Germany, that's not really the case, and neither in Ireland.
And in terms of brands, by the way, so a lot of you will probably be wondering, am I able to get specific brands of different food? So for example, they have Oreos. They have Oreos in China. They have also Chips Ahoy, the brand Chips Ahoy it's called. If you are into these types of food, me and Naomi are not so much into this stuff, but if just in case you are and you're watching, they have Skittles, and they also have basically every other type of snack brand that you can think of in the Western world anyways. They have Lay's and things like this. It's all available here, readily available here for you as a Westerner. If you're coming here and you're craving something like that, you can get it. Absolutely no problem at all with getting it. Something to touch upon as well is the tap water here is definitely, I would say, not drinkable for us and for people in general. So what I would want to show you is just exactly how much water is Let's see. I'll see if I can show you guys. It's just down this aisle here. The general cost of water is incredibly low in terms of like drinking water. So what me and Naomi tend to do is we'll try and get one of these. This is a 5 liters of water, and this is 9 yuan, which is just over €1 for 5 liters of water. And what we've been doing recently as well is we found a different brand that sells 6 liter water bottles, and that's, I think, actually roughly the same price, so just over €1 for 6 liters. It's incredible value.
If you're buying these types of waters though, please make sure that you buy mineral water and not purified drinking water, because what does happen a lot of times, at least that's what happened to us in the beginning of our Asia series, is that you get really dehydrated over a while if you're drinking the purified waters, because there's obviously no minerals in there, nothing to rehydrate your body. So yeah, just make sure that it says mineral water and not purified water, distilled water, drinking water, something like that, because